All right, back to one of our top stories. The Madlanga Commission has heard that Police Minister Senzo Mchunu took an interest in the murders of ANC councillors Phendukani, Mabhida, as well as Sindiso Magaqa, to the extent that he directly contacted officers to obtain information and allegedly conflated his role as minister and high-ranking ANC official in doing so. Now, this was revealed in evidence from two witnesses who testified before the probe. That was the acting KwaZulu-Natal's Deputy Provincial Commissioner, Major General Anthony Gopaul, as well as a partially in-camera witness known as Witness E. So let's get more details now on today's testimony. We're joined by security strategist and retired Interpol ambassador, Mashaile. Mr. Mashaile, thank you so much for your patience and good evening to you. The KwaZulu-Natal's acting Deputy Commissioner, Major General Anthony Gopaul, placing the suspended Police Minister Senzo Mchunu at the center of what appears to be, according to him, an intervention into the killing of ANC Councillor Phendukani Mabhida, while Witness E claims to have received a call asking about the killing of Sindiso Magaqa. What are you reading into these allegations?
Good evening. Good evening to you, Bongi, and sorry for my hoarse voice because of the flu. Number one, Anthony Gopaul spoke about interference and disruption of the protocol that says the minister cannot talk to a major general at the district level. Understanding that protocol, I agree that Mr. Gopaul was correct in his assertions. And fast forward to Witness E, it really tied a knot in my stomach when he delivered his testimony. And in what he has alleged in his testimony, I picked up a number of criminal activities or criminal charges that can arise for the witness saying the minister was coercing him to misrepresent facts at the Madlanga Commission. Coercion in this instance would be a criminal offense, and it would also be an intimidation as a criminal charge for the fact that you want to misrepresent facts and you are fully involved in the operations from an investigations point of view, court processes and issuing out instructions. It smells and smacks of defeating the administration of justice. These are criminal matters that I am sure the commission would be interested in pursuing and referring for prosecution. Obviously, after investigation, it is not shocking but disappointing listening to the evidence led by Witness E, who's on the witness protection, having the minister call him until he was desperate to such an extent that he would use a conventional line that would obviously trigger the Truecaller app that's recording the calls, and us listening to the minister saying, man, wait a minute, have you written the statement? Are you done with the statement? Send it to this particular person. And also, Bongi, that why the different phones, why use the different phones if you don't want to cover yourself so that you can enjoy what you and I call plausible deniability, that I didn't call anyone.
And it also, really just, I suppose, piqued my interest when I heard him say that he then told the minister, that's his version. He claims to have told the minister the names of the officers that he says are involved in the killing of Sindiso Magaqa, the planning and all of that. And he says that he raised the alarm bells with this particular information. But one wonders if this is indeed correct, how that particular information was processed has to also be an area of interest.
The minister, honestly, Bongi, has no business in knowing those details. Witness E has superiors until up to the provincial commissioner. Those are the people who are by law required to possess that information, that planning leading up to the murder as gathered or collected by witness E. Any other person by law is not supposed to be in possession of that information, because that information might be used for devious purposes and intentions, and it is worrying when politicians speak directly to investigators, because now investigators must reveal everything, because they would be intimidated by your position, your social standing, or your position as a leader. In the process, the investigating officer might end up revealing what he or she is not supposed to reveal to the politician.
And what blurs the lines there? Because one would think that things are clear, but it seems that with each and every single witness we hear from, whether it's in the Madlanga Commission, whether it's in the ad hoc committee, the lines continue to be blurred.
Bongi, you and I have had a discussion and debates and really deep debates that talks logic, that talks principle. Some ministers believe that they run the departments over which they oversee it. Remember, a minister is a political head. There is someone who is responsible for the operations. In that instance, it would be a director general who is appointed by the president to assist the department in the execution of its strategy on a daily basis. It is never the area of the minister to go into the operations and start asking about employment and start going into the files of the employees. So what blurs the lines? If it's not ignorance, it is incompetence, ignorance of the operational procedures or protocols. If it's not that ignorance, it is incompetence. If it is not a strategic incompetence, it is sheer contempt for the processes that the law, the Constitution, the Labor Relations Act, the Public Service Act prescribes for the operation of the department as entrusted in the accounting officers who happen to be director generals. In the police, it would be the national commissioner.
So when you look at what has been said in the ad hoc committee and what has been said in the Madlanga Commission, a lot of this tells us of the continued battle when it comes to what is happening within the SAPS. And one wonders if what we are hearing, is it enough in terms of shifting the direction of what we've seen happening over SAPS over time? Because this is not the first time we're hearing of some apparent fights at the top. It's been an ongoing conversation.
Bong, it's an ongoing conversation. You now understand why one general who sat with me and the former head of the Hawks in a meeting somewhere else at OR Tambo, that general knows himself. If he's watching, he will understand that I understood his frustration when he received a number of calls from someone higher, some politician. That general, I could see the frustration on the face of that general. Given the testimony of witness E, I understand why the general was so frustrated, because he could not sit down. One senior politician kept calling this general continuously. Now with a string of phone calls as testified to by witness E, makes sense when we connect the dots backwards to say some people have to deal with serious pressure in making decisions that ultimately gets them to be thrown under the bus. So these are some of the serious battles where those at the top use those that are in the organization, SAPS, to further their interest and to derive maximum advantage in forwarding their goals or in setting up a system that would yield the results that he wants, he or she wants.
Sure. And one wonders then what happens with all of what we've heard. But thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. That was the security strategist and retired Interpol ambassador, Andy Mashaile.